Welcome to your Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your March 2021 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note about my readings, they are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Saggy, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. So what we're going to look at are the different sectors of your life, and then we're going to pull a major card for each one of the weeks ahead. And these feed directly into your weekly messages, so these become the keys to your week ahead. And then you'll also get a key to the month card, which is that overarching sort of energy or theme that's going on sort of over the top or underneath. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's have a look, see what the month ahead has in store for you, for your actions and interactions with the world at large. I'm just throwing cards all over the place. You get, ta-da, oh bam, look at that, right? You've got the 10 of Cups. Home is good this month. Now remember, the beauty of this card is it looks like you're going to be having what we call a peak experience. This is going to be a moment where something is coming in for you that makes you so happy. Something that is so abundant that you can share it with everybody that you love, whether this is the people that you live with, or whether it's your significant other. There is a really strong sense of happiness and emotional contentment that comes up with this. Now, your actions and interactions with the world at large, this is what you do, which basically says to me that you are focused on the home this month. You're focused on the home, the partner, the kids, if you have them. You know, this is about you enhancing the experience that you have, and this is where you are putting your most time, energy, the most of your resources, especially on that inner plane as well. When we talk about resources, people only ever think of like the physical, the monetary. Your resources are also the things that are here. Your resources are also the things that are here, and sometimes those resources are more abundant than anything else, and it looks like yours are very much focused on the home and creating and enhancing the best experience that you can possibly have. For your money and materials, you have the 5 of Swords, right? So when it comes to finances, when it comes to money, it does look like there's either some sort of a disagreement going on when it comes to the money or the finances. Maybe you are asking for more money. Maybe you're in the throes of asking the boss for more money, and maybe up until now you've been getting the runaround. Maybe you've been told, you know, oh, we don't have it in the budget, the pandemic has hit us hard, like yeah. Let's just be honest, right? Even in the pandemic, the big boys, the big companies, the big industries, none of them have folded. So that tells me that there is more than enough money for them to pay their employees fairly. So if you've been asking for a pay rise and you haven't got one, it looks like you're very close to a breakthrough, and I would keep going with that. The 5 of Swords is fraught communication, right? It's challenges that come up, but this feels to me like you are chasing something, whether this is the next pay bracket or more money, or even just recognition for the hard fucking work that you've put in up until now. Fair play to you. Stay on that, because it looks like you're a lot closer to getting the answer that you want than you might think you are. So when it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is asking you to look after your skin, your shins and your, you know, that general sort of area. This is also your nervous system as well. And one of the things that you could probably put in place, wherever it is that your happy place is, or whatever it is about your home that makes you happy or that offers you that space to, you know, to calm yourself. These are the things that you want to pay attention to over the course of the month, or put time and energy into. Now, when it comes specifically to the home, that 5 of Swords, it's an interesting one, because I get the feeling that you are doing everything you can to make the home a good space. But with the 5 of Swords there, this does suggest that maybe there is an outside energy that's trying to encroach on whatever's happening in the home. And if that is the case, this might be the month where you just have to, you know, get into, like, a lot of people, when I say this, they get really offended, but as far as I'm concerned, all of the Saggies that I know are feisty mofos when they're ready. You know, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm sorry to say I love you guys to bits. But you are, like, a lot of people say, like, oh, it's just because, you know, we speak the truth. And it's like, no. I'm pretty sure the Saggies that I know are real firecrackers. When they're ready, trust me, you know about it. This may be the month where you have to delve into that, especially around the home, where you're having to stamp your foot down with something. And like I said, it feels like whatever it is that you're having to say, like, hard no to, or epic swipe left. I remember the first time I heard that, it really made me crack up. This month you're going to have to delve into that sort of, you know, the harder edge of the Sagittarius, you know, to stamp something out, or to define where you stand with something. For your communications and conversations, you got the Ace of Wands. This is nice, right? So when it comes to your ideas, and this has been shaping up for you for a while, because Sagittarius has had this kind of, this whole creative energy that's been building and building and building. And I actually feel like whatever it is that you've been working on up until this point, it kind of feels like you're ready to launch with it. Now, it does come up with the Five of Swords, which suggests that something that you are saying this month is very likely to upset someone. And let's be honest, right? Nowadays, you can't even breathe without somebody having, you know, taking offense to it or whatever. You know, this is the world that we live in. It's the world that we've created. I have to really that Aquarian mind is like, like, okay, come on. What's yeah, it's something this month that you are about to say, or maybe even something that you're going to voice as a personal opinion, maybe the unpopular one. And in this, I'm going to defer to a saying that I remember reading quite a while ago now, and it said, if you don't have any enemies, or maybe not enemies, it's a really harsh word, but you get my point. If you don't have any enemies, you've never really stood up for what you believe. And that's the whole point of it. Something that you fundamentally really believe in this month, you are moving ahead with. You're voicing something, or you're moving ahead with something, and it might be unpopular, but you have to do it anyway. And if that is the case, you've got to stand by this, because this is you speaking and living in your truth, which is one of the things that you guys really are known for. For your heart and half, you have the Ace of Swords. So two aces, when they come up together, can represent trickery. All right, so I just want you to be aware of that. Don't let your message be put forward by somebody else. All right, that's probably the thing that I want to say to you. So if this is like a colleague or a friend that's like, oh yeah, you know, I'll handle that, or I'll say that, Five of Swords next to the Ace of Wands, like there's a suggestion here that maybe something that you're saying is going to be taken by somebody and said in a different way. So you have to be the person to say it. So there is no cause for, what's the word? So there's no cause for anybody misconstruing what you actually are saying. I think that's probably the easiest way to say it. Now, when it comes to those of you that are single, yeah, I mean, there's definitely potential here for meeting somebody. It does look like this person's going to be a bit more of a pen pal friend, or a bit, do they still have those? Maybe not. Not in the digital age, Raph. I'm showing my age now. But yeah, it kind of feels like it's going to be more of like a literary thing. You know, maybe the odd Zoom, the odd Skype, whatever. But there's more of keeping in touch with this person like that for now. But that will start to change probably as we get into around June. So whoever this person is, they likely live at a distance from you. For those of you that are partnered or in relationships, it looks like you guys are considering a new contract of some sort, and it may have something to do with the home. Whether this is that you're extending the home, or maybe you've decided that you need a bigger home. There's definitely something that's changing here, and I get the impression as well, it's likely to be kind of like by surprise, almost like you guys are just going to have to just decide on the spot, and it's kind of like come what may, we'll deal with whatever it is. let's have a look at your weeks of the month. Let's see what comes up for you over the course of March. So for the first week, you have the Tower card, right? So there is going to be some news, possibly some shocking news that comes into the home. For those of you that are partnered or in relationships, whether new or old, this could be a surprise pregnancy. It could be, I don't know, maybe someone phones you up and says, look, you know what, I really need a place to crash. There's something happening with the home here. And if I'm completely honest with you, you are going to have to go with it. But I actually feel like it might be good. Apart from if this feeds into this whole something external encroaching, like this is not the month to let anybody tell you that they're coming to stay. If it's a request, fine. But if it's kind of like a demand, then absolutely no effing way. For your second week of the month, you have the Star card. For those of you that have money or finances tied up in digital assets, please, 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 over these first 2 weeks of March, just be really careful. This would either not be a good month to place large bits of money into crypto. It would probably, like anything that's kind of on that sort of spectrum, if you are looking to invest in some sort of technological enhancement, that makes you sound like you're going to get a microchip in your brain or something. No, you know, new laptop, new phone, etc. Second week of the month, probably not. In fact, this first half of March, no big purchases, especially anything to do with technology or cryptocurrency. After that, probably a bit better. Yeah, as well, if there are requests for loans, if there's somebody that wants to borrow money, especially in the second week of the month, it's going to be a no from me as well. The third week of the month, you have the Devil card, right? So it's really important that this month you don't let somebody speak on your behalf, that you don't let somebody assume your idea, and that you don't... The other thing that I really want you to err on the side of caution with as well is, like, if you've got something and you only share half of it with a person, the chances are they will use that as an entire framework. And the problem is then you haven't given them the whole sort of... They don't have the full story because you haven't given it to them. And that might create a problem for you at a later date, which is why I say don't let somebody else speak on your behalf this month. It's really important. And then for your fourth week of the month, you have the Death card. I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen in the fourth week of March. And the reason I say this is because the Death card has come up consistently for the fourth week of the month. And that means that there's something happening on the wider world stage, and I think it's going to be a natural disaster of some kind. I truly hope that I'm wrong, you know, I really do, but it's just something that I think we might be seeing. For those of you that are single, if you are talking to somebody that lives at a distance, you guys are going to be going through what I would call a situationship for quite some time. And this is a month where you've this month you have the option to break it off. I'm not sure many of you will, but it just looks like something that you might be revisiting again at a later date. The other thing is the Ace of Swords coupled with the Death card is one of the few true actual physical death of a person combinations that comes up. The Death card very rarely means actual death, but there are very specific cards that it comes up with that it speaks to, and the Ace of Swords is one of them. So I'm really sorry to say this, but I do feel like this month you will be hearing of a death, likely to be in the family, or at least in close proximity to the family. And, you know, I really hope that I'm wrong on this, but I get the sense that this isn't somebody that's in the winter of their lives. I actually feel like this is going to be somebody that is what we would consider relatively young. Again, I really hope I'm wrong on this, and I hope what I'm seeing is because of the wider world stage. And even then, you know, like, I hope I'm wrong. I'll just say it as that, but I have to say what I see. I always have, and I always will, even when it's challenging. That's the way that I am as a tarot reader. Now, for those of you that are partnered or in relationships, this is something that you guys are facing together. And I think in a lot of ways, this is going to see you guys making decisions for your future. I think whatever happens in this 4th week of the month is really going to influence where you decide to take something from here on in. Whew. So let's get into your key to the month, which is the 4 of Swords. You've got to take rest, okay? This is one of the things that this whole month is going to require from you more than anything else. It looks like it's going to be a very busy month, a very bitty month as well. Like there's going to be new starts, fresh go-overs. There's going to be things that are needed from you, demanded from you, and there's going to be you kind of striving to keep, not to keep your sanity, but to keep your, you know, to keep your even keel. Like whatever your baseline is, that's what you're going to be working hard to hold on to this month. And sometimes when we have to work so hard against everything else to do that, to keep that, we need to rest. All right, so make sure you get yours this month. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.